Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to DIY Mississippi Film Works. I'm your host, Ultimo Gallows. Sorry, I need a drink there. I don't know. Y'all don't know for of course, like the wrestling match videos, those get filmed in order as they happen. I try, used to I tried to get them all out the same night. Now I film full HD, and we do use their outlet. We have satellite TV. You can't get cable out here with an antenna. The valley, when we'd have to have a huge pole that would get struck by lightning constantly during the bad season. So you gotta have satellite. Well, we stream a lot, so to upload with any kind of speed, have to have nothing streaming. Can't really do much with the internet, and when you got a file like a 20-minute match that's almost 3 GB, that's going to take a good while to upload, even with nobody else streaming. So a lot of times at night, I'll sit down and read these old wrestling mags and play video games and upload a match. That's why, since I started shooting HD, which if you notice, most stuff 720, I'm dropping it down to 720 because I'm figuring most people are watching this on their phones or their tablets. You're not watching it on, a big TV. You don't need the full 1080. But I do film these other videos, not the match stuff. I like a lot at once. I'll sit down and film 10 or 15 of these at once. This is the last, as of right now, as of filming of these Wrestling Magazine Flipthroughs. I'm hoping this ends up on a Friday, because I'm doing Wednesday, Friday. If you haven't figured out why, I started back in the day doing this thing like every once in a while. I copied this from the guy that runs Beyond Wrestling called Raw Alternative, where I go find about 2 hours worth of matches. And the first couple times I did, it was only matches from like Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana feds, maybe Florida too. Independent matches, and I put a playlist out on Mondays, and it was like, instead of watching Raw, you go watch Raw Alternative. Well, these, jokingly, I've never actually put this up out there. We're done as, okay, fuck watching Dynamite and Rampage on Wednesday. If I go watch me flip through an old wrestling magazine. Yeah, I know. But look at that cover. Just look at that cover for a minute. Just take in everything on that cover there, everybody. I mean, just look at that. Look at that gorgeous cover. This is Wrestler Annual, not the Wrestler, because if you see, other issues say there's no dog. There's a Victory Sports Series. This is spring of '98. I started spring of '88. Sorry, Buck '95. All right, damn, 215 Canon. What these worth? These reprinted. Most of this is all reprint stuff. And they put one. Sorry, one color page in the centerfold would be a poster, and they have like pictures on the back. All right. So we got here is full color star shots of Hatshot, Jim Duggan, and Sting. Okay. Probably UWS stuff for Sting. How far Hogan carry his American Dream? I fear no man. We the man. Ric Flair must wrestle UWF champion Steve Williams now. Tito Santana shuts Jesse Ventura's mouth. The champion does his fight in the ring. Road Warriors versus Sheep Herders. A feast of blood and violence. With the Bushwhackers in WWF by spring of '88. I mean, honestly, by the time this came out, this was probably the difference from winter of '88. Winter at the front of the year. Magazines were always way outdated. If you're interested in this, I'm going to throw this out there. If you're interested in this will be for sale at a Bayou Independent Wrestling show. Maybe some others, I don't know. If you got me on Facebook and I say I'm going to a show and you want something, let me know. I'll bring it with me to the show. I've done that many a times. Have people all out. You've been to a show? No, I'm not going to be in there. I'm just coming to hang out. Well, I want a mask. Okay, I'll pack a mask in my bag. I don't mind, None of the promoters give a shit. I do it all the time. I have a couple items of money. And usually the money I make off that, I spend at the promotion anyway. But this one I got to ask $15 for. Everybody, I'm sorry. What I paid to make a profit, I got to ask $15. Now, it's going to be bagged. I got nice, bags to put them in. I don't have boards. I don't have boards this big. But it will be bagged and taped shut. Because once I finish this video, it's going to put up. Because I got 2 of these in, and I realized that, okay, so let's start. We got a lawnmower repair. We got like a bodybuilding ad. No beardless, shirtless WK. That sucks. Lisa ain't happy. She done pulled her top back up. Subscriptions. See, I wanted both of those back in the day, but $27 is like, man. Fuck. And the thing was with these is that by this time, I was 88. I would have been 40. I wasn't driving. I said by the time I was driving, I subbed to these wrestling magazines. I could hit every grocery store, drugstore, and stuff like that. In the next 3-4 towns and find a copy. It wasn't that hard. Whereas my comics were a little bit harder, so I never really subbed to any wrestling magazines. Now, these are always going to have a lot of ads. Is that a... Damn, that's a Brad's Fun Shop, not a John Smith company. Introducing Carrie. Look at this young picture of Carrie Von Erich. And they do. Did they tell you? I remember the other one that told me. That's from 80. Okay, yeah, it tells me. So I'm going to keep my finger on that page. You know what? I'll set a twist tie on that page. And if you wonder why I got twist ties out, that's a little tip if you're filming like I do. If you're filming on stuff that reflects like comics and magazine with slick paper, your lights will cause a glare. If you use you got like LED lights like I'm using, where the bulb is not exposed or it's not going to get super hot. A Walmart bag put over that light with a twist tie to hold it tight, or using LED lamps like I do for some stuff. A couple pieces of printer paper taped over it will stop the glare, but still get enough light through to bright. Because I think my stuff looks bright enough, but I'm using 4, 5, 6 LED lights right now. My kitchen is kind of dark. 7. And I got one turned off because I can't move that light and it causes a massive glare, which I can turn it back on now. Because besides the covers, these are all newsprint. Did that make a huge difference in the picture? I don't know. I'm coming. And not really, but look how young Carrie is. And he's taking on... Made his debut in MSG. Okay. Tito versus Ventura. When is this from? 86. And the next one's going to be from 85. This must be right before Ventura retires. I don't remember seeing a lot of Ventura. Hercules Hernandez. Okay, for years and years and years, the UWF Rookie of the Year theme between... I always thought that was Hercules Hernandez under a different name, and it's Gary Young. Yeah. I've said that on the forum. Somebody's like, no, man, that was Gary Young. I'm like, oh, shit. I like Gary Young. Gary Young was one of the guys you're kind of like, what? Dundee versus Lawler. How ambition destroyed a friendship. Look at that picture of Lawler and Dundee. That's got to be 70s. Met both guys. Here's the thing you can tell on TV. Bill Dundee is a very short man. And by the time I met him, Bill Dundee is a very old man. Now, he had his pompadour hair. There's a picture. I'll get it on here somehow, and I'll cover my face. There's a picture of me when I met Mr. Dundee for the second or third time. I look like I'm a foot taller than the man if you don't cut that pompadour is. Really cool guy. I mentioned this guy promoter for Hollywood, Jimmy Blaylock. He works with Championship Wrestling out in Memphis a lot. Now, he's running like 4 times a year shows up in like Lula, Mississippi, in that area, like Lula, Mississippi, Tunica, and then up in Tennessee, mostly casino shows. And have a bunch of Memphis legends that draw, and then a bunch of local guys. And Bill, after his match, the show got switched around. Bill ended up being earlier in the card than he thought. He spent the rest of just sitting there and telling old stories. And he tells a great story that I'm not going to tell here on YouTube. If you run into me at a show, I'll tell you the story. Just tell me, coming to me like, hey, I saw your video on YouTube. Tell me the story about how Jerry Lawler got the Memphis Crew band all-girls Catholic school in the Tennessee area back in it might have been the 80s, but I want to say it's the late 70s. It might have been into the 80s. It's a very funny story that I can clean up enough that I can tell it in front of kids even. But yeah, and that's a great article. That's got to be an old one. 80? Okay. Look, the infamous Hogan head on a steak cover. I want that cover. That thing costs a fortune. I never bought Sports Review Wrestling because it was always a little pricier because that color. Go take a bath and get a haircut. The invites of the world who Dory Funk won the championship and lost the support of young people with his stinging condemnations. Is Dory fighting a losing battle? One of his close friends puts it like this. Dory's trying to fight a rebellion and use apple pie for ammunition. That's great. How old is that? It's got to be old. Come on. Damn it. Oh, it don't say. Okay, so 60. So pull that out, go up to 60. I hate to do that shit. 75, and then 85, and then 76 is the next two. So put that right there. Man, is that... Dory uses his favorite hold, the spinning leg light, to defeat Ivan Koloff. Getting near the color, baby. The Road Warrior. Oh, wish this was in color. Road Warriors versus the Sheep Herders. A feast of blood and violence. Where is this? The Clash in Texas, but what fed? I don't really see. It just says Road Warriors were all acknowledged the most vicious and sadistic tag team in professional wrestling today. The Kiwi Sheepherders are known throughout wrestling as the most insane, crazy, and bloodthirsty tag team in the Lone Star State. When these two teams clashed in tag, the result was an uncontrollable eruption of mayhem and senseless violence. I don't know, but I want to see this match. Like, I really do. Anybody out there watching this knows where to find a copy of this match and hooks me up with it, I'll give you something for free. I'll come up with something. I'll pull something off the merch show out here. Here's your free item. Thank you. And so now we're gonna get on our colors. Might get a little glare, but Sting and Dugan. See, look at that Sting. Dugan. The Night Inoki versus Muhammad Ali and Andre versus Wepner. Remember hearing about this from like older people. Ric Flair must wrestle UWF champion Steve Williams now. Okay, it's got to be like 86-ish. That would have been great. Did it ever really happen like both titles on? I don't remember. How far can Hulk Hogan carry his American dream? A long ways. He's still making a fucking fortune. I just listened to a podcast where a guy went and got it was limited like 2 items and a picture with Hogan. And it was like $1,000. I'm like, holy shit. I mean, wow. 2 signatures and, a picture with somebody. $1,000. I get that it's Hulk Hogan. I get that, but hell, I'm a big time horror fan. And I met Gunnar Hansen and got 2 8x10 sign. Yeah, 2 8x10 sign and a picture with him where he's choking and he got that sign and talked to him for 20 minutes and I dropped $15, but the person with me didn't realize I'd already paid for something else. So that's why I always say Gunnar Hansen choked me and stole $5 from me. Part of the money's going to charity, so I don't give a fuck. But yeah. Hogan still, look at that fist drop. And that's what I love. There's a local wrestler. I'm going to throw this out there. I don't know if you watch or not, sir, but Joey Abel. Mostly wrestles battles and does some SWA work and some other groups here, but mostly battles, but mostly tag matches. Now, Joey's got to be, I'm going to be nice, Joey, and say you're 35. I know Joey's at least mid-30s, possibly in his early 40s. I'm going to be nice and say 35, Joey. He wears the straps like Lawler does, and when he's getting ready to kick some ass, he drops the straps. I'm like, yeah, I love seeing that. Every once in a while, I'll be filming. If I film a Joey Abel match when he drops out, I'm like, Lawler. Handcuffs. It's in the bag. But one thing they did do as original was, I think the letters are original, and then Hogan thing was 84. There's more of the Dory Funk. Okay, these were original, the ratings. So what I'm going to do is, okay. I'm going to skip your big feds. Even though I'm going to skip your big 3 here, and I'm going to skip all this shit, unless there's somebody that just really stands out. Okay, Stan Lane's already in the Midnights. And that's what they don't, besides like the Road Warriors and the Islanders, some of these they give them out of TNA, some they don't, which is weird, because this is how Midnight Express is running around, which I get, nobody real big on the Alvarez. Ooh. All right, we're going to start over here with UWF. Okay, champ is Dr. F. Williams. And Barry Windham. I forget Barry Windham was there towards the end. And this is for the end, December 2nd, 87. That's when this shit ended. Terry Taylor, Larry Zbysko, Black Bart, Sting, Eddie Gilbert, Big Bubba Rogers, Ron Simmons, Rick Steiner, Shane Douglas. What's that line? That's a great line. Sam Pete's got an okay lineup. We got Owen Hart as your champ, which was the North American belt. I like that they called it. It wasn't like the Canadian title or, fuck you, we only run Canada and maybe Minnesota. Like co-promoting with, didn't they? Dale, did they ever co-promote with Vern? I'm figuring they did. But we're North America. Gama Singh, Jason Terrible, Corporal Kersher, Muckin Singh, Byron Pillman, Steve DeSalva, that was the second Ultimate Warrior. Hiro Hase, Phil LaFleur, that's Phil LaFawn, I think. Bruce Hart and Zodiac. Mid-Southern, which this is what I never got. Why was it only in the Abner match they called it Mid-Southern? It was like always Memphis. I was like, no, Mid-Southern would be Mid-South. This is Memphis. It's always been Memphis. But Lawler's the champions, AWA Southern champion, Manny Fernandez, Bobby Jaggers, Jeff Jarrett, Jimmy Jack Bill Dundee, Steve Kern, Carl Fergie, Austin Idol, Hector Guerrero, and Don Bass. Continental, hell yeah. Dutch Mantel's their champion, Wendell Cooley, Doug Furness. Phil LaFawn's over here in Stampede, dude. Tom Pritchard, the Bullet, which is Bob Armstrong. My brain was saying Brad I knew it wasn't Brad. Scott Armstrong, Dan Davis, Robert Fuller, Jonathan Boyd, Jimmy Gold. World Championship. Now, this is back when, for some reason, the NWA World Championship Wrestling were listed differently. Like the NWA would be over the World Champions, and then World Championship Wrestling, which was Crockett, would always end up being whoever the U.S. champ was at number one. Then everything else is almost a double. Like Barry Windham's a difference. There's Tully Blanchard. Sting is different. That's because of Mike. Yeah, not many differences. Like Mighty Wilbers. We'll go to World Class. So. This is Texas. Okay, Al Perez, the champion. I don't get that. Kevin Von Erich, Matt Bourne, Chris Adams, Kerry Von Erich, Brian Adidas, Tony Atlas, Ted Arcidi, Sean Simpson, Eric Embry, and Iron Sheik. Ooh. Yeah, Texas is looking rough. Continental, okay. All right, I did Continental. Sorry. California. ACCW. No idea. Peter Maivia Jr. No idea who that is. Kamala Mala. No idea. Mercenary 1. Professor Tanaka. Jay Strongbow Jr. Goliath. Tony Rocco. Mercenary 2. Victor Rivera. And Mondo Guerrero. Oh, God. We ain't got the best lineup. Goodbye, Florida. Hello, Stampeders. A major change on the ratings page this month. By now, you may notice that the Florida ratings are gone and been replaced by top 10 for Stampede Wrestling. This change came about for a very good reason. After nearly 40 years in the business, Championship Wrestling for Florida no longer exists. CWF was associated with the NWA, and its various champions often received shots at NWA World Champion and Tag titles. A little more, and I'm paraphrasing some of this, of course. A little more than 10 years ago, Dusty Rhodes won the House Wrestler in the country. CWF rode along on its wave of popularity. CWF was home of legendary announcer grown soloists, home of such superstars as Eddie Graham, Buddy Colt, Bobby Shane, Bugsy McGraw, Dory Funk Jr., Jack and Jake, Jerry Briscoe, Barry Windham, Kevin Sullivan, and Lex Luger. Despite its associated with the NWA, CWF operates its own shows in Florida. The NWA World Champion would occasionally wrestle in Florida or Southern titles on cards in Tampa, Daytona Beach, Lakeland, Orlando, and other CWF strongholds, but shows were generally filled with talent exclusive to the Florida area. In the past year, however, Jim Crockett Promotions took over CWF and been sending more World Championship Wrestling talent down to Florida. Eventually, the difference between WCW and CWF became minute. Finally, CWF offices were shut down. Crockett Promotions will continue to run shows in Florida. Mike Rotundo is still the Florida champion. Steve Kerr and Mike Graham recently won the belts from the Mighty Yankees, are still the Florida Tag Champions. These belts will now be challenged for by all NWA wrestlers. The decision to boost Stampede Wrestling into a permanent rating spot was rather easy. Operating out of Calgary in the Canadian province of Alberta, Stampede was one of the fastest growing promotions in the sport. Stampede North American champion Owen Hart is just one of several promising young wrestlers competing in the Stampede area, and the editors of Wrestler Annual but it's time for the Canadian representation in our representation. A lot of fans of the United States don't realize how popular wrestling is in Canada, said senior editor Bill Apner. But it's probably as popular there as it is here. Remember, they drew 72,000 fans for a show in Toronto last year, and the gates were constantly high in Montreal, Toronto, and Western Canada. WWF has a pretty solid hold on Eastern Canada, but Stampede is really big in the Canadian Rockies. Some of the greatest stars in wrestling, such as British Bulldogs and Bret Hart, got their start in Stampede. Wayne Jones, the Honky Tonk Man, was wrestling there before he came to WWF. The other two belts recognized by Stampede, the British Commonwealth Championship, currently held by Gama Singh, and the International Tag titles held by Bruce Hart and Brian Pillman, one from Maka Singh and Jerry Morrow, on November 13th in Calgary. The British Commonwealth Champion will receive an automatic number one rating behind the Stampede North American Champion. Who's number one? For now, the Road Warriors own the top spot in the tag team rankings. God. Ken Rapier. Hawk and Animals' win-loss record for November was nearly flawless, as it always is. The quality of opposition was top-notch. There's no denying the incredible skills of the Legion of Doom. But they were unable to win the NWA World Tag belts off Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson in Starrcade 87, leading many feel they no longer deserve to be rated number one. And Strike Force, Santana Martel, the WWF World Tag Champions, are also impressive people with their high-flying style and willingness to take on all comers. Undoubtedly, the Warriors are on shaky ground. In fact, several wrestling annual editors gave their first wave votes to this issue to Anderson and Blanchard. The Warriors, but if they don't win a major title soon, they could be in trouble. There's also an interesting situation we're in with the top 10 singles rating. WWF World Champion Hogan still owns the top spot, but Ric Flair regained the NWA World title with a thrilling victory at Starrcade 87. Moved on into number 2. Flair always keeps an ambitious schedule of title defenses. If he retains the belt, he could be number one by our next issue. California, here we come. This issue we go to Left Coast for our revolving ratings category. The All-Star California Championship Wrestling Federation is a side mixtures of wrestlers, veterans, and rising young stars. The heavyweight champion is Wild Man Jack Armstrong. Tag champion is United States Peter Maivia Jr. WWF World Champ tag champ, Professor Toru Tanaka. Old mags, old ads, and then, of course, an ad for the videos. Well, I'm out, everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed that. And this, like I said, this is going up for sale. I got to ask your team for it. And if you don't live in the area, I'll throw this out there. If you don't live in the area and you want this, leave a comment here. Or if you want to contact me through email, it is it's really Asshat Podcast. So just like it sounds, one word, ASSHATPODCAST @gmail.com. And put in the subject, hey, I want to buy a Wrestle magazine or something like that. I check that email often enough. I'll see it within a day or so. And we'll work out a deal. If you're buying it through the mail, we'll work out a deal. I don't know what shipping's going to be like by then. I can't say now because shipping changes constantly. And my thing is if you're buying in the States, odds are I'll probably cover shipping. If you want it shipped outside the United States, you got to cover shipping. And you got to pay first because it is not cheap. I looked into it recently. I was going to be shipping a magazine to Canada. Magazine size of this, would have been in a simple mailer. Used to be I could mail that to Canada for about $8, which is still stupid. That's way too much. It's about $3 in the States. $8 is way too much. Now, that single magazine going to Canada, and now, I'm way on the other side of the country from where it's going to Canada. It's going to Vancouver. I'm the southeast United States. That would be the southwest Canada. $22 and change. That exact same magazine, shipping from Vancouver, Canada here, would run the guy, would have ran him, say, $10 back when it would have been $8 for me. Now running 12. So theirs went up too, but and I could go into why. I could definitely go into why this it's like that, but I don't want to get into politics here that much. But I'm out, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed that. Laters.